Hi everyone and welcome to another video. In this video, I will just be making some daily headers that I thought would be interesting for you all to see. These are all mainly the ones that I have found I use most of the time, and I figured having a collection of them would not only be helpful for me, but also be interesting for you all to see. So I hope you enjoy, and I asked for questions that I could answer in this video on my Instagram, so I will be answering those over top of this video. I just typed up all of my answers underneath questions and I forgot to put who was who, so while I'm recording this I will not be able to say who asked what, but I will put all of the links in the description below. The first question is, what are your favorite markers and pens for your bullet journal? So I kind of split it into two different spectrums. On the cheap end, I like Crayola SuperTips, Pilot G2 pens. I know these aren't markers and pens, but the Moo eraser I really love, Papermate pencils, and I really like white jelly roll, white gel pens. They're so nice. On the pricier end, I do like Tombow dual brush pens, Pentel Sign Touch pens, Stabilos, Microns, Faber Castell Pitt Artist pens, Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liners, and Inkjoy gel pens. I put the Inkjoy gel pens on the pricier end just because sometimes these sets can get a little bit pricey in my opinion. Again, your cheap end might be different than my pricey end or my cheap end, but that's just how I kind of organized it in my brain. But those are pretty much all the ones that I enjoy using and use on a regular basis. What is your biggest challenge when bullet journaling? My biggest challenge when working with my bullet journal is coming up with my own spreads. I know the bullet journal community is about sharing ideas, but sometimes I feel I use others' ideas way too often instead of experimenting and creating with my own original spreads. Most of the time I'll take someone else's idea, with credit of course, very important, and as I use it, I'll revise it to my needs as I use it every month or every week, whatever it is, until it becomes something that works for me. So there'll be sort of a backbone with someone else's original idea starting out, but then I'll change it as time goes on. And even though I'm an artist who makes original artworks all the time, I struggle hardcore to make spreads that are totally from my own brain, like 100% my own design. And I'm really trying to work on that, but sometimes, you know, we just need a little help every once in a while. The next question is, what is your greatest aspiration in life? Oh gosh, we're getting deep here. My biggest aspiration in life is mainly to do what I love as a living somehow, and just to be successful and not have to worry about money or finances from month to month. Kind of a pathetic aspiration, very millennial, but that's my main one right now as I'm trying to figure out how to just kind of adult and see how life works after school, because school's been my life up until almost a year ago and I'm still trying to figure it all out, so bear with me guys. The next one is, what are you truly proud of? I couldn't really think of one, honestly. The main one I can think of is mainly that I've survived and lived through all of my hardest days so far, and that's all I'll say for that, because I can't really pinpoint anything that I'm truly proud of besides that. How did you discover bullet journaling? I actually learned about it through an ASMR artist I listened to who said that she had an Instagram just for her planner content. And I'm really happy that I didn't just follow her though, because I don't think she's posted on that account since she mentioned it over 2 years ago. Then after that, I surfed on Pinterest for a while, since I didn't really go on Instagram at all at that time. And I found a ton of accounts that were linked to Instagram. So I went on Instagram, and that's how Haley Journals was born. What advice would you give to those who are inspired by you? My biggest advice is to just do what works for you and not what everyone else is doing. Don't compare your bullet journal to anyone else's, because what works for them might not work for you. And that's okay. Like, there's a lot of spreads that I think are really super pretty, and I've tried them, and they just do not work for me. If you post your planner on Instagram, don't stress over numbers or how perfect your photos look. I do that on occasion. I'm guilty of that. Most people love the aesthetically pleasing aspect in artful pages, yeah, but more people are now secretly looking for those relatable, non-perfect looking spreads that are more practical than pretty. Of course, there's nothing wrong with those pretty and artsy photos and spreads, but don't be intimidated by them to not do your own thing in your journal or on Instagram. I actually have a blog post on my blog about aesthetic versus practical planning. If you're interested on reading any more of my opinions, I will have a link down below. Are you a cat or dog person? I am an animal person. I love both. Dogs make me so happy, but if I had to own one, I would probably go with a cat before a dog. Although if someone would surprise me with a puppy, I would not be complaining. What's the weirdest thing you have ever done? Okay, I had to think about this one a lot, because I'm a fairly quiet and reserved person with an outgoing side sometimes. I don't do a lot of weird things, okay? Like, I sit at home and I play video games and I write in my bullet journal all the time. But one thing I can think of is joining a direct sales company about skincare and makeup and having no prior experience with either of those things. It was for the better because now I know a lot about those things and about owning kind of a business. And now I know how to do my own makeup and take care of my skin, which is nice, but it was definitely a weird thing that quote-unquote normal me would not do. And I was definitely living up to my word of the year last year, which was change, because I joined on January 2nd. So yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing I've done. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing I can think of. The next question is, what is your biggest motivation to get things done? It depends on what I need to get done. If it's for my online presence, usually I just think about those followers who are waiting for me to post things, and it usually motivates me enough to at least get started on things, if not finish them. Watching animated movies and listening to music really help me get in the groove as well, especially for art or just busy work kind of things I have to get done. Food and bribery are also valid things that get me motivated. What's your favorite thing to treat yourself with? Either food I don't have very often, bullet journaling and stationery supplies, chocolate, or just a me day where I have no expectations for myself. Really trying to work on the self-care here lately. It's a struggle to get used to, especially now with my work hours kind of getting back to normal and actually going up. It's a little hard to let myself take care of myself, but I'm working on it, guys. It's okay. Who is your favorite artist? If we're talking about art, Claude Monet or Vincent van Gogh, or Gogh, whatever his name is. And both of those are hilarious because my style of painting isn't even close to what theirs are. But if we're talking artists as in music, there are too many favorites for me to list off, and I'll basically listen to any kind of music. What's your favorite artistic medium? Painting, sculpture, mixed media, etc. Copic markers, pens, and or ink, and acrylic paint are by far the ones I use the most and are most comfortable with, but I'll always sketch with pencils and even do full pieces in pencil or charcoal. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, unless it's clay. Clay and I don't mix. How long have you been playing D&D, as in Dungeons & Dragons? I did a few sessions in April of 2017 with a huge group of about 12 people, and it wasn't the best experience since there was so much going on. It got kind of confusing, so it fizzled out. And guys, if you don't know what D&D is, or if you don't know how many players are supposed to be in a game, the one I am in now full time, I have been in since August of 2017, we only have a max of 5 or 6 people. So that was literally double or more what people usually have in their campaigns. So just putting some perspective on that. That was my first experience. So I don't really consider that my start date. I do really consider August 2017 when I started. And honestly, I love it so much. I love everyone in that group. I love all of our characters. We're all so attached to our characters, it's ridiculous. I'm planning on maybe looking for another campaign to join in addition to my main one, since I do want to try out different characters and different builds. But I'm not actively searching. If I get invited to one, I'll see what it's about. And this last one I really like ending on. It is, what is the most significant change you saw in your life because of bullet journaling? So this was actually a really good question, and I'm glad this was asked. So the biggest change I saw was in my procrastination department. I was so bad in college, guys, about procrastinating until I started my bullet journal. And in the last year of college, assignment-wise, was a breeze compared to the other 2 years. During and after college, it's really helped organize my life so much, especially with my transition to being outside of school and being an adult. Anyways, I'm way more productive than I used to be. I get a lot more done every day than I think I ever did when I was forced to do homework. And I'm a lot less stressed than before. And it really helps keep my life together, especially now that I'm getting used to bills and appointments and a somewhat regular work schedule every week I have to work around. So yeah, my life has just become a lot less hectic with my bullet journal because I always know what's coming up and I always know what I have to get done every day. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. That was one of the best Q&A videos I think I've had so far. I had a lot of really cool questions that were about a lot of different things. And I'll probably do more of these in the future if you guys so choose for me to do. I really like doing these because some of the questions are just ones I never would think to ask myself. So thank you all for the questions. I will have everyone who asked questions in the description down below. If you have any questions for me, feel free to comment on this. Maybe I'll include it in a Q&A. I'm sure I'll probably answer it just by habit in the comments anyway. But I'm sure I'll be doing another one of these soon. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!